kicking, never quitting. Focus sharp like a blade that's hitting. From white belt dreams to the master flow, Paul Coffey's got the mic, now the stories grow. Technique entails discipline and fire. Each guest brings truth to inspire. Keep kicking, step into your power. Keep kicking, moment to the hour. Every strike, every fall, every rise, it's a journey through a warrior's eyes. Old school, new school, all styles blend. From the mat to the mic, where the arts ascend. Philosophy deep, but the vibe stays tight. Martial minds meeting in the podcast light. Keep kicking, step into your power. Keep kicking, moment to the hour. Every strike, every fall, every rise, it's a journey through a warrior's eyes. Keep kicking. Keep kicking. Paul Coffey leads and the journey begins. Paul Coffey leads and the journey begins. Technique entails discipline and fire. Each guest brings truth to inspire. Keep kicking, step into your power. Keep kicking, moment to the hour. Every strike, every fall, every rise, it's a journey through a warrior's eyes. Keep kicking. Keep kicking. Paul Coffey leads and the journey begins.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Keep Kicking, the martial arts podcast where I have martial conversations with my martial arts friends. And today I sit down with Brian. Brian, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, Brian Cotton, originally from San Diego, now in Texas. Senior level black sash in shortly foot, and first degree senior in Yang style Tai Chi Chuan, based out of San Diego. Currently on sabbatical until I can figure things out.
Sabbatical is very
yeah.
okay. Tell us how you got started in martial arts.
Well, started off in high school. It was about summer or between my sophomore and junior year of high school. So looking for something to do, and talking with family, mainly my mom, about doing something that I would like to do. And so I was like, yeah, I'd like to try martial arts. So we started browsing around, looking around town, and a lot of things around the city, but nothing was really grasping me until we found a nice cheap spot out of a community center, and great instructor. His name was Matt Armstrong. Great guy. He never taught one-on-one, but he ran his classes efficiently. Very skilled guy. Memorized everybody's names without much struggle. Awesome dude. And spent 5 years training under him in Taekwondo. So got started in that. Gave me a good foundation. When I hit my 5th year mark, I was wanting to expand my training, but the weapons-based aspect that he didn't teach in that community center. I would have had to go somewhere else, and didn't have a car at the time. I don't got no means to do that. That's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I also just didn't want to travel that much just to get this extra bit of training. It's like, why waste my time with that? So I started browsing around town, found I was kind of looking at Wing Chun actually for a little bit, because I had also been watching martial arts movies. Donnie Yen, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Mm-hmm.
great films. Love those films. And
Absolutely.
got me hooked on trying something like that. Nothing was really grasping me until I finally found my old, what I would now consider my old school, which is White Dragon. If you're ever in San Diego, amazing place to get kung fu traditional in San Diego. Best place ever.
Okay.
I reached out to, and I before visiting it, I was hesitant because I didn't know that much about martial arts and all the historical backgrounds and everything. But I
Hmm.
did know that, okay, there are some kind of religious ties, historically speaking,
Hmm.
to certain martial arts, and I didn't want to have any tie to that because I'm a man of faith. I don't want anything that would be a conflict of interest.
Hmm.
I researched the place and found out grandmaster. They got this grandmaster. He's not too old, and I can reach out to him, give him a quick email. So I email him, the man that I can now call my grandmaster, and I ask him, "Hey, I'm looking at visiting this school. I see it's under under you, run by. Do they teach anything related to religion, like Buddhism?" And he's like, "Nope, just martial arts, just health." I'm like, "Perfect." So I swing by, do like a free trial aspect, which they offer, and try out a couple classes. And it was like, I'm learning so much just in a single lesson, so much in just one class, more than I ever had when I was doing Taekwondo.
Hmm.
And that's not a knock on my first instructor, but it was just a different aspect, a different way of doing things that I guess just he didn't have available to him, which can't blame him for that. But he did great for my first 5 years. But this was like leaps and bounds, and it's like I am gonna learn so much here. I got hooked immediately. So signed up and started learning. They put me with a great guy, great instructor, Mr. Karamoto is his name, based in La Mesa. For let's see, 6 years I trained under him specifically,
Hmm.
all the way to earning my black in both Tai Chi and Chuali Foot,
Hmm.
in both of them. And actually, the Tai Chi, I earned that in 3 years,
Hmm.
surprisingly. But there was a whole uh, thing about curriculum change. They were adapting and making things more efficient.
Hmm.
So because of that, when I took a test, I bumped up 2 levels.
Right. That's good.
Yeah. And then after I passed my black for my Chuali Foot training, I had also spent some time training to become an instructor under our
Hmm.
Sifu, the
Hmm.
man running the La Mesa school. His name's Tai Sifu Tittle. Amazing man, awesome dude. I call him my mentor. Spent so many years training under him. Phenomenal guy. I would not knock him. And he's not just trained at that school and taught there. He's worked with people in other things too. He's connected to like military guys and
Mm.
actually trained with them. Not
Awesome.
just like even gone to like their private shooting ranges on invitation. So he's
Very
trained with
cool.
legit killers, legit monsters, and awesome guy. And after a couple years, I had earned the right to be an instructor myself, and spent 4 years doing that, and just growing and the whole ability to teach. I
Hmm.
found to be a challenge at the first time because like the the most effective way to do it, which they had basically mastered, because it wasn't
Hmm.
just the school in La Mesa, it's a
Hmm.
school over all of San Diego. There are 8 locations all under the same banner. So it's a business, but it is run so smooth, and nicest people you ever meet, great community, good system, no complaints whatsoever. And my favorite part, of course, is being weapons. I learned so many different weapons, and I'm still learning them.
What pushed you to start teaching, to get the teacher certification and all?
Yeah. So actually, early on, I would say within the first 2 or 3 years of training, I was just so hooked on the training and the experience and the community at the school. I was like, I want to do this for a living. I want to actually do this for like just life and do this for a business.
Hmm.
So I had told my instructor, Mr. Karamoto, at the time, like, hey, someday I'd like to join you and be an instructor. Few years later, lo and behold, I'm now his junior. He's my senior instructor,
Hmm.
and we're both training under the same Sifu.
Mm.
Goals made it.
Right. What did what did teaching do for your own martial arts practice?
That definitely changed a lot. So
Mhm.
training martial arts, it teaches you a lot, especially with the approach to martial arts and the approach to self-defense and health that they teach. And then when you teach it to somebody else, you're amplifying that, not just in your ability, but your own knowledge of it.
Mm.
You're it's like you're taking that knowledge this
Mhm.
way and then teaching it, you're making it go this way. You're making
Mhm.
it grow
Yeah.
more depth. So it's like you don't just know this stuff, you have an understanding of how it works inside and out almost.
Mhm.
Like crazy. And I
Crazy.
actually witnessed a guy go from being one of my senior instructors to promoted to Sifu.
Very cool.
So I got to witness that and that was awesome
Very
because
cool.
no one saw that coming. I mean, we kind of saw it coming, but it's like it's it's never announced. It's like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
we got have
yeah,
you
yeah.
lined up for we got these people lined up for promotion at our event. And like, hey, wait a minute, he's going for it. Damn, Sifu. As soon as you hear, it, it's like, like I was
Great.
cheering him on like crazy.
That's awesome. So how long have you been on sabbatical? You told me before we started.
It's been since May.
Okay. Okay.
I've been off
No,
of
not
teaching
long.
since May, but I've been keeping up my practice as much as I can.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's a lot.
I don't know about you, but like for me, I've been doing this for 32 years and there are moments where sabbaticals are required because life gets in the way. But
Yeah.
when those sabbaticals happen, if I don't practice, if I don't keep up with my own personal practice,
Hmm.
I am a horrible human to be around. I am so grouchy.
Well, you also start the memory starts to slip a little bit if you're not
A
careful.
little, a
A
little
little
bit,
bit.
a little bit. Yeah.
And that's why you gotta keep. That's why you gotta keep it up, uh,
Hmm.
even when you're on the back burner for it.
That's right.
You gotta keep some of it in practice, otherwise you're gonna lose it all.
Hmm. Do you teach the Tai Chi as well, or do you just teach the
Yes,
Kung Fu?
all instructors back at the school were trained not just in both arts, but to be able to teach both arts.
Okay. Did you all, I'm asking this question just for my own curiosity,
Yes.
and there's no right answer. Like I preface certain things for the audience. There's no right answer to this.
Hmm.
This is just literally my own curiosity. In the school that you were at, were they separate classes, Kung Fu and Tai Chi, or were they blended? How did you all handle that?
It was mostly kept separate, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say the only time that it could be considered mixed is like during sparring. It's like
Mm,
you put on the pads. Someone who's purely just Tai Chi, they gotta learn how to figure out how to use that in the sparring matches. So
sure.
so we learned how to apply the principles, how to apply techniques with padding on,
Mm-hmm.
as well as learning how to actually apply without. So
Mm-hmm.
we got to be pretty well rounded with that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it wasn't just those two styles
Mm-hmm.
of kung fu. We also did a bit of grappling.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't anything official with BJJ or anything, but we did enough to be competent to where it's like, okay, this guy does this throw to me, and taking me down, and then try to get to this position, and we just roll. We just go for whatever works.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You spoke about being a man of God.
Yes.
And first of all, I commend you for asking the questions about religion before joining a school.
Hmm.
Not very many people have the foresight to do that. But not all martial
Hmm.
arts schools push their specific religion or philosophy on their
Hmm.
students. But how has martial arts helped you
Hmm.
or enriched your faith?
That's actually a great question. So it has taught me many things that I'm still trying to learn to apply to this day, actually. So, like, for example, the simple aspect of patience,
Mm,
because Tai Chi is a very patient, demanding art.
hmm.
Like the original Tai Chi Chuan
Hmm.
is done, it is practiced slow, and a lot of people like to, make fun of it. It's like, oh, that could never work in real life. It's like
Mm.
you're learning it slow so you can apply it fast.
Mhm.
And that demands patience.
Mhm.
So in everything that you do in life, you have to have a level of patience.
Mhm.
And also the fact that all the movements change and it flows from one to the next, but it's always changing. It's always shifting. Like
Mhm.
Bruce Lee said, be like water.
Mhm.
I think Tai Chi is the most similar, you know, most resemblant of that. And
Yes.
and to relate that more interconnected, look at Avatar: Last Airbender.
Yes.
What did they apply with water? Tai Chi. Literally, the whole thing was Tai Chi. And it's literally about the flow and the change. So in life and in faith, you have to be willing to adapt. If you're not,
Mm.
then you're gonna get hit and you're gonna get overwhelmed. You're not gonna be able to as the Tai Chi principle is, redirect to overcome.
Mhm. Mm.
And that's all Tai Chi is. You're not taking force on force like
Mhm.
karate, taekwondo, or Choi Li foot.
Mhm.
You are deflecting, redirecting to counter it,
Mhm.
to adapt to it. You're taking that energy and using it against the opponent.
Mhm.
And life is our opponent. We gotta be able to adapt and change with that. We gotta be able to change. Another thing would be discipline. How
Mhm.
many people just say don't have discipline, just in general?
Mhm.
They don't have a foundation of morality or ethics at all.
Mhm.
And as a man of faith, my foundation is of course Christ. And so
Mhm.
my discipline in my martial arts reminds me of it, the continuous practice, keeping that
Mhm.
discipline, keeping that self-inflicted demands that I also apply that in my faith. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm trying to be closer to God, so I need to actually follow the word as close as I can.
Mhm.
Now, I'm never gonna be perfect at that. No one is. A
Mhm.
lot of people like to say, "Oh, Christians are, you know, Christians are hypocrites because you're doing this wrong, you're doing that. How can you call yourself a good Christian?" There is no good Christian, not a single one.
Mhm.
Not one Christian on earth can ever claim to be perfect. Not one.
Mhm.
Anyone who does,
Mhm.
they're a liar. And I will call
Mhm.
them out on that myself.
Mhm.
I have committed so many evils, so many sins. I've lost count. I've lost track. But I don't let that stop me.
Mhm.
Again, it goes back to that adapt, and overcome. I have to
Mhm.
adapt, and by redirecting, I'm redirecting myself.
Mhm.
Because if my focus is off, I can redirect myself, focus back on God,
Mhm.
follow that path, and that path keeps me centered, keeps me focused, keeps me
Mhm.
clear.
Mhm.
And relating that to my current job right now, I'm
Mhm.
working at a paper mill, and it's tough. That the hours are tough. It used to long hours, but I'm not used to this lifestyle. And I've been out here in Texas for going on half a year now,
Mhm.
and the pace of life is so much different. Is
How so?
not well. If you ever been to Texas, you go to any outskirts city, not one of the big ones. Go to an
Mhm.
outskirts city.
Mhm.
Look at how people move. Look at how people drive.
I've only ever been to Austin, just for the
Well,
records.
go to an outer city and just look at how people drive. Look how
Mhm.
vastly different it is compared to big cities where it's like go 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 go. You go to an outer city or a smaller town, people will take their time.
Mm.
There is no rush. The
Mhm.
city I'm in, like you could be half a mile down the road
Mhm.
from an intersection, and that dude's at a stoplight, at a stop sign, he's waiting for that dude to pass before he goes. I'm not even kidding. I've witnessed it.
So
They
they
will
practice good Tai Chi.
please they got that you down. They have the level of patience out here is so different.
Mhm.
Is so vastly different. It is slower. And so I'm having to learn to slow myself down because all I've known is go, go, go
Mhm.
from
Mhm. Mhm.
job to job, from work to home, nonstop. So I've actually been struggling a bit with anxiety and I don't fully comprehend why I'm feeling anxiety. So it's
Mm.
like, what is causing all this issue? And part of it is just like I'm adapting to a whole new lifestyle in a city I've never lived in. I've visited, but never lived
Mhm.
here. Now
Mhm.
I'm living here permanently.
Mhm.
I have to change how I am, especially with this job.
Sure.
So I have to take everything I've learned mentally, emotionally from my martial arts, and I have to figure out the ways to apply that to all this, to living
Absolutely.
out here. And it's not easy, but there's that adaptation. And one thing
Mhm.
I pride myself on is always being adaptable.
Good.
That's how I got my job.
Good. So I want to talk a little bit more about
Hmm.
the religion and the religious aspects. And the reason is because I told you one of the reasons that I started this podcast. The other reason I started this podcast is out of selfishness, because everybody in martial arts that teaches, part of the reason that we teach is selfishness. Because I have a technique that I cannot figure out. I can throw it to a dozen different people, watch what
Hmm.
their perspectives do. I can analyze what they're doing, and then they help me figure it out.
Hmm.
So, as a martial arts instructor, I learn through my students. I learn with my students.
Hmm.
So I started this podcast for the same thing. I can
Hmm.
kick ideas to a fellow martial artist. We can have a conversation about it, and we can come to some sort of an understanding. So
Hmm.
I was born in a religious household.
Hmm.
Due to a lot of things that happened in my childhood, I moved away from religion.
Hmm.
I had found Kung Fu, I had found Tai Chi, I had found my
Hmm.
martial arts practice.
Hmm.
I currently in this state am Buddhist. In my 20s, in my late 20s, early 30s, I had a lot of anger toward religion because
Mm.
of what had happened to me from others. Okay?
Surprising, more common than you might think.
I'm sure it is. I
More common
am
than you might think.
absolutely sure it is. So, but anyway, so here's
Mhm.
saying all that to get to this point. I have never taught Buddhism through martial arts, but
Mhm.
I have used some Buddhist or Taoist principles in teaching martial arts that I consider to be a universal standard. My very favorite is
Mhm.
this is a cell phone. This is my cell phone. In Taoism, they say if you define something, you lose sight of it entirely. And the best martial arts explanation of that is this is a cell phone. No, it's not. I have not defined it. It is an object, and now it's a weapon. This to the side of the neck, this to the eye, this to an intercostal in between the ribs. Just because I didn't define it, it now becomes something else. And so I teach that. And I'm like, look, you don't have to be Taoist for you to get this principle. You don't have to be Taoist to understand that. I'm not asking somebody to
Mhm.
be Taoist. And so then the question is,
Mhm.
have you come across any philosophical things that you could pull from martial arts and apply to your life or apply to your religion? Because now I am now to the age to where everything is settled, the anger is gone, and everything is accepted. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, um, I love, appreciate, and value everybody's faith, even if it does not align with mine. And that was not something I could say in my late 20s and early
Mhm.
30s. But we have healed enough that we can now do that.
So,
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
the simple the simple fact that that philosophy is actually wrong. Defining it does not take away from anything. Reality is based on things that are defined. They are undeniable facts and truths. That's
Hmm.
just how life is. A tree is a
Hmm.
tree. Tree could also
Hmm.
be something you just ran right into without even looking.
Hmm.
Tree could be a tree branch. That could be, "Oh, here's my bat.
Hmm.
Take someone's head off with that."
Hmm.
But is that still a branch? Is that still a tree? Yes. You cannot deny it.
So the
Part
philosophy
the philosophy.
is not about defining something as what it is. The philosophy is about understanding that when you define it, you might not look at it in another lens. So it's just about like, yeah, it's a cell phone. I'm aware it's a cell phone, but because I'm aware it's not just a cell phone, because I haven't defined it as solely a cell phone. That's what
Yeah.
makes it. That's
Well,
what makes it.
I think the issue is that the issue I find with on that mindset is you're looking at it from the mindset of adaptation, which is
Mm,
absolutely right. Nothing wrong with that.
mhm,
That is a
mhm,
good thing. It's the way it's phrased and worded can be misconstrued, just like you heard me say. It kind of sounded a little opposite of what you're saying. So when something is presented in a certain wording in a certain context,
mhm,
it can throw everything out of order. It can throw it
mhm,
like, oh, that throws into confusion
mhm,
because people won't. Most people are not going to get that right off the bat. You had to be able to explain that. But to your average Joe, they hear you say, "This is cell phone." Oh no, it's not. It could be this. And it's
mhm.
like, wait, what? Then they don't have the mental strength to consider that other perspective.
Sure,
So it causes confusion.
sure.
Whereas you teach just a simple mindset of adapt. It's like, yep, this is my cell phone, but guess what else I could do with it?
Mhm,
Boom. I could use it to jab someone in the throat. I could use it to karate chop them. I could use it
mhm,
to poke them in the eye. And they're like, cool. You eliminate the unnecessary
mhm,
philosophical wording and phrasing and just apply the principle of it. Now it
mhm,
becomes more clear. Now it makes more sense to someone
mhm,
who doesn't understand what you just said before.
mhm,
So
mhm.
I don't like stuff that's confusing. I don't. If I'm confused, like,
That's
what
fair.
the heck did you just say? Like, huh? But I've also learned enough from other people, especially from my mentors and
Mhm,
my seniors, to understand and be able to interpret or even ask them, like, what could this mean?
mhm,
And that way, I am starting to expand my perception and
mhm, mhm,
see other
mhm,
perspectives. And actually, in my life, I've always been kind of an outsider. I've always seen things from an outside view. And another relation is like Star Wars.
mhm.
Like
I see
Obi
the
Wan,
poster in the back.
yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan. But like
Yeah.
in the original trilogy,
Mhm,
Luke sees Obi Wan as a ghost.
mhm,
For the second time, after Yoda just passed away,
mhm,
and Obi Wan's telling him, it's like, what I told you about your father is true, from a certain point of view.
mhm,
Why you just stay there? Different perspective.
mhm,
He had to phrase things in a way that technically it was a lie, but it also wasn't because he said Vader killed his dad, but he didn't say that Vader wasn't his dad.
mhm,
He killed a part of himself. That's
mhm,
what he was telling him, but he just wasn't saying it clearly. So it made
mhm,
it sound like, oh, this man's a murderer. He killed my dad.
mhm,
And then when Vader tells him, it's like, I'm your father. He's like, what? So it's going through a loop. He didn't understand perspective. He
mhm,
didn't grasp it.
mhm.
So when it comes to martial arts and how it relates to faith, you have to see things from your perspective of faith first.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, no disrespect on you. I my faith actually like a lot of people like to say, "Oh, I respect people. I respect all religions and all beliefs." I can't. I can
Okay.
respect other people of other faiths and other beliefs.
Yeah, yeah.
I absolutely do. I don't disrespect you just because you're Buddhist, but I do not respect your faith because I don't agree with any of it. Now, I also have a book. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it was a book that was actually written by a Christian who became a kung fu master.
Mm,
It was a really good book, and
mm,
inside, it wasn't a book about martial arts. It was a book about philosophies and beliefs that came out of China and his study and analysis of them.
mhm,
And when I read the book, the summary of what he expounded on for Buddhism, like you're finding all the answers in self.
mhm.
Now, how does that make sense? How can I find the answers in self? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know anything unless I'm taught.
Mhm,
So to
mhm.
say, oh, the answers are within, is bullcrap. The answer can't be within if I don't know, if I'm not taught. I have to be willing
Okay.
to learn.
Yeah.
So it takes time to do that. You can't just have your life can't just be about and plus life can't be about self. The truest and especially my faith, we're told to be selfless.
Hmm.
Now, in some ways, I'm very selfish. In other ways, I'm definitely not. Like I want to teach, but that I don't do that just because it's what I want to do. I want to do it because I want to help other people improve their lives, not just
Hmm.
in defending themselves, but also in their health. Because I've seen
Hmm.
how it has changed people's health
Hmm.
big time. So
Hmm.
I do it not for myself, not for my own selfish reason, but for
Hmm.
desire to help others. That's
Hmm.
my drive.
Hmm.
So running a
I
school
so
is
a couple of things. One, I think that a lot of people are very misled about certain things.
Mhm.
Reason that, or how about this? You said you discredit Buddhism as a religion. And the Buddhist that
well,
sits
I
across
just
from you,
disagree
hold on.
with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Buddhist that sits across from you
Mhm.
says, I agree with what you just said. I agree with what you just said. And I, as a Buddhist, disagree with Buddhism as a religion. Why? Because it's not a religion. Buddhism is not a religion. Buddhism was labeled a religion by people that didn't know what it was. And they walked around and they saw this thing and they went, oh, they're praying and that's a religion. And then it was labeled as a religion. Buddhism is a philosophy. Buddhism is not a religion, period. Absolutely, period. We don't pray to the Buddha. That is not what we're doing. When we chant, we are not chanting to the Buddha. We're not doing any of that. We are not praying in the same capacity as somebody religiously prays to a god. So Buddhism fundamentally is not a religion. It's just a philosophy. It's just a way of life. It's just a way of living. So as far as that goes, but what I think is most interesting about the conversation and about your perspective on martial arts tying to religion and all that is that I think that it's about vernacular. And I think that we are saying the exact same thing always in those regards. And I think that some of the things that you considered to be confusing that are within philosophy are designed to be that. Because if I say, this is a cell phone, but let me show you how to use it as a weapon, that works for this cell phone. And that also works for any other cell phone in the world. And that's great. And then I have given that to that student. But if I say, if you define something, you lose sight of it entirely, and then I teach a lesson on that, that opens up a door to where it's not just cell phones, it's also books, it's also this can, it's also it becomes anything, because now I've got the student thinking, what all is not weapons, or what all, like, I spill something in the kitchen, I'm out of paper towels and I don't have an actual towel with me, what else can I use? Oh, well, I could use this dirty t-shirt, wipe up the water, and then when I clean the t-shirt, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not defining things. So the conceptual lesson
Yeah.
is meant to confuse so that it unlocks more doors, I think.
I can understand that and to a
Hmm.
degree agree with it.
Okay.
Um, but the problem there, but there is a main problem with that way of thinking is that it takes someone who is mentally willing to do that work to get that
Sure.
lesson from that. Most do
Sure.
not have that. Most
Sure.
most people need the look. This is that. But look how else you can use it. You can also use it like this or
Yes.
that. Most people
Yes.
just need that straightforward. Most people do not have the
Hmm.
mental capacity to stay with it, stay with anything with that kind of
Hmm.
philosophical wording.
Sure. But I postulate that the same thing exists in all martial arts because it all requires some sort of strong active listening and active thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
I did want to ask you, do you know who Thomas Merton is by some chance?
No, does not
I
sound familiar.
You probably don't know who Thomas Merton is because he's your age, like you're a little younger. Thomas Merton um was a Christian monk from Kentucky. I'm from Kentucky. Thomas Merton, when Thomas Merton was 18 years old, he heard about the Dalai Lama. And at 18, he said, my goal is to meet the Dalai Lama and convert him to Christianity. I want to tell him about Jesus and convert him to Christianity.
Lots of goal.
Thomas Merton met the Dalai Lama like a year or two later. And he's like, I've come to speak to you about Jesus. Do you know of Jesus? And the Dalai Lama's like, no, I don't know of Jesus. Tell me whatever you would like. Thomas Merton said 3 things. I don't even know what the 3 things are. He wrote about it in one of his books. You can look it up. And the Dalai Lama stopped him and said, that man was a Buddha. Tell me about yourself instead. And that started a lifelong practice where they were best friends. And you shake your head because Jesus was labeled a Buddha. Buddha doesn't mean a god. Buddha just means that he was an enlightened teacher. And Jesus was, in fact, an enlightened teacher. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, he was also God of the flesh, an enlightened teacher. You know, I think you should look at Thomas Merton. I think you would gain a lot from his teachings.
Probably, that does sound interesting. Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, you mentioned that you had faced some religious things and conflict when you were younger. You mind if I ask you about that? 'Cause I know this is supposed to be.
You can absolutely. This isn't supposed to be anything. I am a martial artist, and as a martial artist, this podcast is an extension of martial arts, and this becomes whatever it has to. So if there's a me sit down with somebody and listen to their entire story, and I say 10 words, or if it's a conversation, it's a conversation. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I told you before we started that you could listen to my podcast on Whistlekick. And if you did listen to that podcast, you do hear about my time, but I didn't bring the religious aspect into it because I didn't talk about that. From the time that I was 9 to the time that I was 11, I was abused by an alcoholic uncle. The abuse was physical, but it was also very much mental and verbal.
For sure.
And the mental and verbal aspects, he was beating me to make me a man. He was beating me to make me stronger. He was beating me because I should have died when I was born. It's one of the things he told me. I was born with a birth defect. My chest was caving in on my heart, my lungs. They had to have surgery on me when I was like just over 2, like 2 and 2 months or something like that. So from the time I was 9 to the time I was 11, he was beating me. And he would say things like, this is what God wants. God wants us to do this so that you are a strong man for God. And so like religion was weaponized against me. And because it was weaponized against me, like at such a young age, it took me a long time to get over that, to get past that. You know?
Yeah, I'm very sorry that you had to deal with that. That's nonsense. If I ever heard someone doing that, that would anger me like crazy. Because I don't agree with that kind of mentality. It's evil, and it goes against everything that we're taught. It's like, how dare you? How dare you do that to someone and claim to be, saying this is what God wants? No, how dare you? So, yeah, that sickens me. It sickens me to death. Yeah, I've known people that have had rough times. I'm blessed in that regard. My parents are amazing. They never punished me unless it was something I deserved, and they were never physical unless it was necessary, like just simple spanking. But anything else, it was never like that.
Yeah,
So
my parents were great. This was just all my uncle. And he was battling things that he could not control himself.
That was undoubtful, because the hard part is, like, I mean, you said he was a drunkard, so clearly he was battling something and he had no way to tackle it. So he needed help, and he just didn't know how to go about getting it. So on that, I kind of feel bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
but he took it out on you, which was wrong. Doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
what help he needed. He was taking it out in the wrong way, hurting
Mm-hmm.
someone that should have been under his protection,
Absolutely.
and it's completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Okay, well that's gotten heavy. Let's go back to martial art. Okay, so I have a bunch of questions that I ask of people that are just kind of, it's not lightning round. Take all the time that you want to answer the questions.
hmm
They're just very quick questions.
okay.
The first one is, what do you think the average martial arts practitioner neglects in their own practice?
Well, for the average martial artist, would
Mm-hmm.
have to be just setting time for doing your own training.
That's
Because
right.
like you can go to classes, you can go to
Mm-hmm.
lessons, but if you're not getting your own practice in, you're falling
Mm-hmm.
behind. You will always be behind, unless you're like a prodigy. Which those are
That's my answer for
that
real.
that's few and far between. Like I got told that all the time. Before I became an instructor, I was literally spending like time off work in the afternoons. I would go in like twice a week and just going on my own. Middle of the afternoon, no one's there at the school
Mm-hmm.
except for a couple of instructors just keeping holding the fort down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like dead quiet, and I'm in there practicing by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just drilling stuff that I've been taught over and over again for like an hour or two, and then I go home, go
Mm-hmm.
eat, and then if I have a class or a lesson that night, then I go back.
Mm-hmm.
So I got in my practice all the time, and I didn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually what got me,
To instructor, right?
well, to instructor, but also through all my tests
Mm.
with good discipline, with that
Mm-hmm.
discipline, because
Mm-hmm.
I already had a level of self discipline regarding training.
Mm-hmm.
After I passed my black test for my Tai Chi, went into a Tai Chi class on one night. Our Sifu's like, "Here's your cotton here, just pass the black belt test." Like, so Mr. Cotton, what was your secret? And I'm looking at him like, secret? What are you talking about? I didn't know what the heck he was saying until he says like, doing your practice, right?" He's like, "Oh yeah. Hey." It's like just practicing on my own time. It's like
Mm-hmm.
there is no secret. It's just practice. Just do it.
Do you know what the term kung fu means?
Yep, that's something that
Good,
we teach kids.
good hard work. Oh,
Hard.
that's great to teach kids.
That's yeah. I taught kids regularly. I taught a Wednesday night class, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. 5:30, teaching kids as young as 4 to 7.
Mm.
That would be a class. You know how
Yes.
hard it is to wrangle those by yourself?
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
herding cats. Holy cow!
Yes.
But my job was to establish like what's the mental lesson at the start. Like we do a warm up phase, then we do a quick mat chat. And we're like,
Mm-hmm.
we like this is what we're gonna talk about discipline, and we use like a story or something to get the point across. And then we get right to training. We start doing drills, and we start going over a random technique that we just invented.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just do the class like that until 30 minutes are up, and then it's like, okay, let's get out of here, everybody. Have a good day. And then off to teach private lessons. So
I love it.
yeah, and I would run that class with one of my coworkers because the class could be as big as like 16 kids, and there is no way I can handle that myself. I've had to do it by myself a couple times, and I would be struggling so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes two people to run that class.
Yeah.
So
For kids martial arts class, we usually had a rule of 10-1. Every 10 students get one instructor. Because
yeah,
if like, especially at that age, if you do more than that,
you need to.
it's rough.
You need to.
Oh, okay. If you could give every martial arts practitioner in the world one technique, philosophy, lesson, concept, thought, idea, what would it be?
The simple ideology of, well, martial philosophy of a block is a strike, is a lock, is a throw.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're at the event
Mm-hmm.
cells, a punch is a punch. But when you're learning,
Mm-hmm.
first learning, okay, this is a block, this is a punch. you start getting more advanced with it. Now that punch, that's not just a punch. That could also be this. That block
Mhm.
isn't that. That could also be this. But
Mhm.
then you get up to oh, that block's
Mhm.
just a block. Now
Mhm.
you got all these different ways of doing it.
Congratulations, you've taken us full circle, and I appreciate that because nothing needs to be defined. If you define something, you lose sight of it entirely. The block, defined as a block. Okay. So I keep these at about an hour, and we've
Mhm.
blasted through. We're almost at that hour mark. Is
Yeah.
there something that you would like to say that you didn't get a chance to say? And if you want people to be able to find you, you can tell them where they can find you.
The main thing, if I was to leave off one thing, it would be anything that seems, anything that is like a traditional art that seems like, oh, that can't possibly work. I would say throw that ideology out the window and
Mm-hmm.
just give it a try. And you might
Mm-hmm.
find, whoa, there's more to this than I thought.
Right.
Which is shockingly what everyone says about with Tai Chi.
Absolutely.
Everybody says that with Tai Chi. It's like, oh, that can't possibly work. Now, bouncing off of that, you ever see those videos of guy? I can't remember his name. It's like Zhao Zhao Do or something. MMA fighter in China. He did like regulated fights with supposed masters of different martial arts.
I know who you're talking about.
But
I don't remember his name.
he's beating up old guys.
Mm-hmm.
These are
Mm-hmm.
guys who are past their prime.
Mm-hmm.
They're not qualified to be doing matches like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on, dude. That's not how you get respect for your art.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're insulting that old man. You're insulting yourself by
Mm-hmm.
belittling your skill
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
somebody that is way past their prime.
That he actually just came up in conversation with another martial artist recently,
Mm,
and that other guy, I wish I could remember his name,
yeah.
but he went on this rant about that guy and was like, he's the Jake Paul of.
Oh, no, not even close. Those are like two totally opposite ends of that spectrum, okay? If we're gonna bring up Jake Paul, I gotta dig in on that. The guy is a loser. Well, I do not respect Jake Paul whatsoever. He deserved to get that jaw dislocated because the guy is not a fighter. He's not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's
Sure.
not. Every single fight he's ever had and supposedly won,
Mm-hmm.
they basically admit it was rigged every time. And there's one
Mm-hmm.
time he fights a boxer
Right.
and the dude takes his jaw out,
Mm-hmm.
put him in the hospital. He's not gonna be eating solid food for months.
Did you see how swollen he was?
His jaw is hanging
It
wide open.
looked like this. Like
Yeah.
real swollen. It was bad. It was
But
bad
it's like I cannot respect Jake Paul for that stuff. I
for
can't.
sure.
You literally are setting up the fights to be in your favor. That's not
Mm-hmm.
how any real fighter is ever going to be.
Mm-hmm.
No real genuine fighter is going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Started Mike Tyson, but dude, you lost that. He lost a lot of respect from me when he lost that match. Because
Mm-hmm.
watch the training video that was put out of Mike Tyson practicing before
Right.
that fight.
Right.
He looked like he could have killed Jake Paul.
Right.
And yet that fight he loses, come on.
Mhm.
He would have destroyed him. That was insulting. And then Jake's brother trying to say, "Oh, I'm gonna get to it, but after I'm done with my WWE season." It's like, dude, come on, you're not a real fighter either.
Right.
You're a showman.
Right.
It's like these guys don't understand the mentality that is required of true combat training with
Mhm.
real fighters. I mean, MMA fighters, those guys are dangerous.
Mhm.
Legit, those guys are dangerous. They could kill a
Absolutely.
guy, but even they are not warrior fighters.
Mhm.
They are
Mhm.
ring fighters. They're
Mhm.
not sent out to a battlefield to fight. They're not.
Mhm.
They do not have that mentality. They're not trained for that.
Mhm.
It, that's just never gonna happen. Jake Paul is way below them, not even close
Mhm.
to the same tier.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So,
So I want to end on one more.
mhm.
If there is somebody that's watching this podcast that is not a martial artist but is thinking about it, what advice would you give?
Anybody that's I can't really say anybody that I know personally, but anybody that's not sees this, if you're constantly questioning it, find a school nearby. Check them out. Do your research heavily. Never just sign up right off the bat for the first one. Find one that's gonna let you do a free trial or
Mm-hmm.
a trial lessons. Even if you gotta pay a little money for a trial, give it a try. Watch out
Mm-hmm.
for schools that do testing fees, because some of those are typically McDojos. Some of
Mm-hmm.
those are McDojos. Be careful of the schools.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure the chief instructor is someone legit. Check if they have a lineage, because
Mm-hmm.
any good martial artist has a lineage, every single one.
Mm-hmm.
And find what you like.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody's gonna be a kung fu guy. Not everybody's gonna be a karate guy. You gotta find what fits you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like to say, "Oh, like for example, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu." So I think it's so massively overhyped, and
Mm-hmm.
it has been watered down even for them, because how many of them actually train to do stand-up takedowns?
Mm-hmm.
I doubt even half.
Mm-hmm.
I would bet any of the Gracies do, and then their direct students do, but
Mm-hmm.
anyone below them, I doubt it. I doubt
Mm-hmm.
it. If they try to pick a fight and do a takedown, they're gonna get thrown,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll have their shot because they're finally on their back.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't know how to do those takedowns, they're not gonna get it. They're not gonna get to
Mm-hmm.
that ground unless they're already on their back.
Absolutely. Okay. I thank you for taking the time
Thank you.
to sit down and have this conversation with me. I also, like I say to all my guests, thank you, because whether you like it or not, you're now a part of my martial arts journey by having this conversation with me.
My pleasure.
I want to thank everybody that listened or watched this. Hope you got something out of it. See you next time. And as always, keep kicking.